global and local sustainability framework standard as well as the certification. Okay, I think there is a problem in loading the image, but never mind. But just to share with you, actually, for the sustainability framework and standard, there are a lot, and then some people actually ask me like, what kind of framework and standard that you should follow. So I will simplify for you all, so you will have understanding like what are the 2 to 3 sustainability framework and standard that you can follow. Yeah, I think the data is a bit of issue, but never mind. Just now I already showed the first United Nations Sustainable Development Goals for the Global Sustainability Framework. And then second basically is about the Task Force on the Climate Related Financial Disclosure TCFD framework. And then finally is about the Carbon Disclosure Project. So I will explain that in further detail. Oh, actually I know what's the problem because I need to connect back to my hotspot. Sorry for the inconvenience. But let me share back this. Hold on, yeah. Give me 2 minutes. I have technical issue. Need to connect back to the internet. I forget the sound because I use my hotspot.
Thanks.
I think now should be okay. Okay. The connection basically already back. So basically you can see that the second one is about the Task Force on Climate Related Financial Disclosure Framework, and the third one is the Carbon Disclosure Project. I will let you know in further detail. So for the Task Force on Climate Related Financial Disclosure, basically you just disclose like what is related in terms of the climate change. I can give you some example. So basically you can indicate about the climate risk and opportunity. And then secondly, you can also mention what are your strategy in the short, medium and long term. And then also what is your risk management process, like how you identify, assess and manage your climate risk. And then lastly is like you will disclose about the scope 1, scope 2 and scope 3 emission. So the scope 1, scope 2 and scope 3 emission is about carbon accounting. Actually there is another trainer called Aaron Lau. He conducted this course today. But today I will just briefly describe what is scope 1, scope 2 and scope 3 emissions, so at least you have some idea. Okay, so basically the scope 1 to 3 emission is from the greenhouse gas protocol. So I will let you see the video, then you will understand what is scope 1, scope 2 and scope 3 emission.
emissions during a product's life cycle matter for life on Earth. The Greenhouse Gas Protocol has developed an internationally recognized standard for greenhouse gas accounting based on scopes. Dividing your emissions into the 3 scopes helps you find the best way to reduce your emissions. The first scope is emissions from activities and sources owned or controlled by you, also called direct emissions. This can be burning fuel in an on-site boiler or running vehicles on site. Scope 1 focuses on emissions created directly by operations within the company. This means that you are in control and can act directly to reduce your GHG emissions. To calculate Scope 1, you first need to define the organizational and operational boundaries of your company. Scope 2 includes GHG emissions from the electricity that you consume. The actual emissions occur when the electricity is generated, but the user of the electricity will be accountable for the emissions. You can reduce emissions by lowering your overall energy consumption or choosing electricity from fossil-free or renewable sources. Scope 3 is the largest scope, encompassing all indirect emissions from sources not owned or controlled by you, like the production of purchased goods or services, transportation of products, employees commuting, and much more. Scope 3 is divided into 2 subgroups, upstream and downstream. Scope 3 upstream means all emissions that occur before your production. Scope 3 downstream is all emissions that occur after the product leaves the gates of your company. Although Scope 3 is the most difficult to influence, you can still make a big dent in these emissions through systematic review of your supply chain and choices of transport solutions.
Alright, so do you have better understanding what is scope 1 to 3 emission? Yes? So maybe one of you can explain what is scope 1 emission?
Gas emission due to the operating activities.
Yes, correct. How about scope 2? Anyone?
Your use of energy,
Yes.
right? You use your energy from outside, the energy, the power from the provider.
Yes.
Right? So whether it's the energy is fossil fuel or green, that harmful to environment, or using renewable energy.
Very good. How about scope 3? Yes, very good. So basically from the video you can easily understand what is the difference between scope 1 to scope 3 emissions. Okay, so basically what I want to show you is greenhouse gas. There are several types of gas. One is carbon dioxide, one is methane, one is nitrous dioxide, and another type of gas as well. But carbon dioxide consists most of them under the greenhouse gas emission. And then just now what you mentioned is correct. Scope 1 is the direct emission within your company or your factory. Scope 2 is about your energy, electricity. Scope 3 is somewhere outside, like the upstream and the downstream activity. So, what upstream activity comprises under scope 3? So, upstream activities, right? They are like lease asset, employee commuting, purchase goods and services, business travel, waste, food and energy, transport and distribution, and capital goods. And then for the downstream, right, you have transport, process or sold product, use or sold product, lease facility, investment, franchise, and end of life treatment. And then actually, if you never review what kind of emission that you already emitted from your company, right? You no need to care about scope 3 emission. You just care about scope 1, what carbon emission that you produce from your company, and scope 2 emission, what kind of energy and electricity that you use in your company. That is very good already. Scope 3 comes later. Yeah. So, how you calculate your scope 1 emission? Normally, they use the activity data times the emission factor equals to the GHG emission. And basically, right, the scope 1 to scope 3 emission, you can use the carbon accounting software to calculate. And basically, what I know from one of the SME association is that they are planning to provide SME free carbon accounting software to use. So basically, if let's say in the near future you want to calculate your scope 1 and 2 emission, you don't need to worry because you will be able to enjoy the accounting
If
software.
I use ChatGPT and I get the data,
Not accurate.
huh?
Not accurate.
Then where and apart can I? So
You need to use the carbon accounting software, and when I know the carbon accounting software is free to use, then I will update.
ChatGPT is like you ask them anything, they give you.
Not everything.
Ah,
Not everything is accurate.
it's coming $20 per month.
These are the software is based on the different lines in different industry.
Can be based on different industry. Like can be based on construction, plantation, agriculture as well.
What are the commonly used software now?
It is a lot actually in the market.
Yeah, can download them. Do they have an app so we use the app that they can do the calculation? Or you need to download their program.
You need to install the software, then you only can calculate.
You key the data.
Yeah, need to key in the data also.
Do they use the apps or a program?
Actually, a program,
Not in the apps, not in the
not the mobile app. You need to access from your desktop. Not really Excel from that. Basically, this carbon accounting software, right, is like GHG calculation. Okay, if you want to use Excel to calculate, yes, but not too accurate.
So it's just a user-friendly program, right?
Yes.
Depends on let's say I'm in the oil palm plantation, they will give you a category, then it's something like that. User-friendly program, is that?
Yeah, something like this. Alright. You have any question? That's all? Oh, I thought you
Yeah,
had.
I want to ask, you have the accounting software, like the
For now, I mean the one that's free to use one, that one is not available in the market. But once it's reviewed in the market, then I can update.
because it's just that he suggests that can use ChatGPT, right? Maybe you can compare like the same set of data and then see what's the result. If it's the same.
But I
If you
think
take ChatGPT and
But I think ChatGPT is like in terms of creating the proposal is good, but in terms of specific calculation, maybe not so.
Maybe they give you the outline something like
Yeah.
you know the formula how to calculate all this. Maybe
Yes.
just let you, but it is accurate one. I don't think they can do it.
It will come.
Maybe in the future.
Yeah, maybe.
Yes.
But right now the data is still linked to ESG, right?
Yes. Okay, so at least you have some understanding about carbon accounting. And basically, right, for scope 1 emission, what you can do to reduce the scope 1 emission is that you can replace the fossil fuel into with like bio energy related fuel, or basically you can change your vehicle into electric vehicle. So this is the strategy. And scope 2, same thing. We also use the activity data times the emission factor equals to the GHG emission. But this one is about the electricity calculation. And for scope 2, right, normally you can replace the existing source of an electricity source to the renewable energy, like the solar panel, for instance, to generate electricity. Okay, just now I mentioned calculate scope 1 and 2 emission is the starting point, but to reduce the greenhouse gas emission is the next step. So basically what I recommend for the SME is that you can just care about scope 1 to 2 emissions first, and then scope 3 is considered as advanced stage. So you can see that they have several levels to reduce the greenhouse gas emission. First is to remove the carbon. Second is to have sustainable business and tech practice. Third is to have renewable energy. And then fourth is to transition to low emission vehicle. Sorry, just now actually suppose that you need to start from the low emission vehicle first, then you only come to the final stage of carbon avoidance.
You put this way, how long would it take for Grab? Grab is established about 4 years ago, yeah? About 4 years ago, yeah, Grab, yeah. So they bought over the Uber from Malaysia operation in Singapore. Okay. So now probably in 100 hailer, they probably they use almost 100. This is fossil fuel vehicles. So to transform that into, say, I want to, for the next 10 years, I'm going to reduce 50% of EV instead of using that. So in Malaysia's perspective is because it's all money matters, right? So you don't expect your e-hailer driver to change your vehicle. So it's going to take time when they talk about very nice for them to bear their policy roadmap. Yeah, we call it roadmap ahead for the next 10 years.
Yes.
To practically to implement that is a different question.
Yeah,
I would say.
understand. Yeah, because sometimes they review that they want to do that in their sustainability report, right? But in reality, they didn't achieve.
Yeah.
So sometimes.
So whether this is sort of beautify the your report to the investor,
Yes.
rather than practically they ask a question when come to the AGM,
Yes.
the CEO will not be able to answer anyway this sort of question, right?
Yes,
So
correct.
followed by the investor.
Yes, alright. But I mean, for Dawao here, right? I think we don't need to be so ambitious to review all this strategy, but we can do 2 things. Let me encourage. Okay. So the first thing, you just review your sustainability policy. Like what you do for environment, social, and governance. And you can refer to the case study from Sabi Kinabalu, which I will illustrate in the slide later, and also that one group of companies. And second step, for you to embark in your sustainability journey, you just need to review your scope 1 and 2 emission. That is very simple. So it's not that difficult for you to achieve sustainability journey. Okay, just now I mentioned there are some carbon accounting software for you to use. One of them actually is from the MGTC Low Carbon Operating System. For now, their annual subscription fee is 5,000. And there is another software called Pandas. Pandas, they also review how to calculate the scope 1 to 3 and show you the data. But this software, as what I understand from the market, is even more expensive than NGTC. I think at least 10K.
But when you say the software,
Yeah.
so people subscribe download it. It is for system computer system can be used maybe for so many incorporated terminal, or so many subsidiary companies, or just one company, apply one company?
Actually can be used from many companies. So that means like if there is more companies subscribe this particular carbon accounting software, that means this carbon accounting software is quite popular in the market.
Means let's say I have 20 companies. I have one, then I have other subsidiary company.
Yeah.
Can I just buy one only?
Actually, yeah.
Or
you can choose
individual
the-
company have to buy each of it, they certificate A, certificate B, certificate is under my company.
I
Can you
think
buy
buy
one or
one,
buy
yeah.
each company have to buy one?
I think buy one enough and buy the one that is suitable to your company. Yes. Alright, just to briefly go through, carbon disclosure project is also one of the climate disclosure reporting framework that you can apply. But actually for now, this carbon disclosure project, or just now what I shared, the TCFD, this tool is just like the reference. But what most important that you need to do is just to review your scope 1 to 2 emission. That is good enough. Yes. Alright. So now I share some of the global sustainability reporting standards. There are several of them. One is Global Reporting Initiative. Second is the IFRS S1 and IFRS S2. Third one is the Sustainability Accounting Standard Board. And then fourth one is about the European Sustainability Reporting Standard. So for the Global Reporting Initiative GRI, this is very commonly used by the public listed company and even some of the SME as well. But for now, if you're not really doing sustainability report, basically this one also can come a bit later. Later, I will recommend you a local sustainability reporting framework that you can use first, and you can come up with a simple sustainability report. So this one is just the adoption level for Malaysia. Basically, Malaysia, there are like 61% of the company, but I think this is for public listed company. They are using GRI, just to show you the data. I think this one I can skip because this is not that important. And then this IFRS S1 and S2, right? Basically, this one is mentioned in the National Sustainability Reporting Framework, but this one, right, actually also not that important for the small, medium enterprises, only applicable to those small, medium enterprises that have 300 to 400 employees. So basically, this one, just to share with you, this is just some of the sustainability related disclosure that the bigger companies that need to follow through. So basically, IFRS S1 is about the Task Force on Climate Related Financial Disclosure, which I just shared earlier, is about the climate related risks and opportunities, and it's about scope 1 to 3 emission. And then for the IFRS S2 is about, it's also related to TCFD, but this one is like, they have industry specific disclosure. That means you have to relate to your industry like plantation or agriculture, for instance. And the Sustainability Accounting Standard Board, basically this one also relate to the industry, but this Sustainability Accounting Standard Board, it covers like 77 industry. That means it's more specific disclosure that you can use, but this one also not compulsory for the SME at the moment. And then this European Sustainability Reporting Standard, this one actually is like if let's say your company have relationship with Europe, then this standard is more important. But if let's say your company only trade locally, then this not really matter.
If say a company like SME
Yeah.
or a company actually you're doing let's say a sales dealer,
Yeah.
a dealer like maybe Mercedes-Benz
Okay.
or any industrial machinery. Yeah. So would that company, the local dealer, need to aware that this their supplier, they are the vendor supplier, by request that you need to use.
If let's say they deal with the overseas supplier and it's from Europe, yeah, they have to care about this. But if let's say they only deal with the local supplier, then only deal with the local one, local regulation. Yes. But this one is just for your own knowledge. Okay, yeah, this is what I really want to introduce to you. So basically, like, the third one that you can do in order for you to produce simple sustainability reporting is to refer to this SEDG, this Simplified ESG Disclosure Guide for SME in Supply Chain. Basically, it covers 5 sectors: energy, transport and logistics, construction and real estate, agriculture, and manufacturing. I understand maybe some of you are from plantation, but actually you also can use some of the indicators from agriculture as well. Because agriculture is about waste, plantation is also about that. So something that can refer to. And basically this only launched last year, and they are 35 disclosure. You can start from the basic disclosure first, then afterwards you can go for the intermediate and advanced level. And this SCDG did not cover the adoption of sustainability, assessment and mitigation of risk, and also identification of business opportunity. So the reason why SME should adopt SEDG is to have the global competitiveness and also to respond to different stakeholders like the customer, investor, bank and regulator. And finally is to qualify for the incentive provided to the companies with enhanced ESG disclosure. So basically, yeah, these are some of the benefits. Until here, do you understand what is SEDG?
The one just now you say ABC, point 1, point 2, point 3, qualifies for incentive provide to companies with enhanced ESG disclosure.
Yeah.
So to qualify for incentive,
Yeah.
This is qualified incentive that means from the government
Yes.
authority.
Yes.
You can get, if you have report this, you get maybe tax break or subsidy or whatever.
Yeah.
Or subsidy for industrial development authority or something like that.
Yes, correct. Later I will explain further
That
in
will
terms of.
become to later on.
Yes.
The government have this sort of the announcement in the budget.
Yes, I will explain a little bit more in terms of the tax incentive and the government grants. Okay, basically just to show you that this SCDG will follow some of the local and the international standard. Local is like Bursa Malaysia, international is like GRI, FTSE for Good, and ISSB. So basically, you can use the middle template to refer to. So the middle template is like later you can download from the website about the SDG guide. Then you can tick which one you already applied, but this one comes later. And just to show you, there are many companies already adopt SDG. Normally you can see it's like big companies or NGO or investor, etc. Right? But don't worry, the small companies also can do that. Yeah, just now as what you asked is like whether the NGO can do ESG. Can. There are many associations doing that. Yeah. Okay. This is basically about manufacturing sector, but I don't think there is any one of you from the manufacturing, right? So I can skip this part. Okay, this is just to show you the National Sustainability Reporting Framework, but as what I mentioned, this is only applicable to the listed company and also the non-listed company, that means like the big size of SME, they have like 300 to 400 employees. So this is not that important. But just to show you, actually, beside this SEDG, right, your company also can have some ISO compliance. ISO is just one of the quality management standard. So the ISO, right, is very simple. Basically, right, you can do in terms of the environment, and then also about the social, like the occupational health and safety is very simple for your company to comply. And then finally, the anti-bribery also can. It's not that difficult. So these are some of the ISO standards that you can consider. Yeah. And you also can use the local standard, local quality standard, which is SIRI. So SIRI, right, it can be about the ESG system. And also it can relate to your reporting. So until here, are you clear about the SIRIM and the ISO standard? Malaysia, yes. Can start from SIRIM first, actually. Yeah, not that.
Siri is all about your Siri usually is sticker on the manufacturing goods, right? So this is standard. Everybody say I want to buy a product which is serum. Just like light.
Yeah, normally it's for product.
So which is the only for products?
So if let's say reporting wise, it can be applicable to any sector. But if let's say in terms of quality wise, yeah, normally it's referred to the product.
So then,
Yeah.
your oil palm produced on a plantation doesn't need the Siri.
Oil palm needs MSPO.
MSPO is certified
Huh?
MSPO is a Siri MS 2530. Malaysia standard.
Serious?
MS.
Or if you have a MSPO cert, right?
Alright. So the certification part, right? Actually, I will mention about MSPO a little bit. But before I mention about MSPO, I would like to show you this video.
Untuk segmen ini, kita dengarkan pandangan pakar profesional berkaitan dengan sustainable certification. Bagaimana syarikat SME dapat memenuhi piawaian dan juga keiktirafan yang dilaksanakan oleh para profesional, dan apakah kelebihan dan juga kejayaan yang akan diperolehi apabila keiktirafan dan piawaian ini
On the Malaysian sustainable palm oil, it shows the government is very committed in trying to produce certified sustainable palm oil. Under its 5 principles, it ensures that the environmental is conserved and there are no forced labor being introduced in the supply chain of the Malaysian palm oil industry. 2 types of assessment that we do, which is the high conservation and obesity assessment, and also SID, social impact assessment. Together with the in line with the Malaysia's commitment to ensuring that climate change is center of every effort, especially in daily economy. We have also introduced the greenhouse gas calculator in getting the industry to show the difference in reducing the GHG emission from the industry. This is where all the companies should take advantage of and try to subscribe or try to get certified or at least start small, start now in real one.
The small water program, what we want to do is to empower the independent smallholders growing up. It is a big regulation. Now, independent small farmers don't have any contractual agreement with any mill or any guaranteed buyout for the produce. So that way, they are really independent and they are entrepreneurs. They are really small size of land, 1 to 2 acres of land, especially. So our program is primarily based on empowering these independent small farmers through sustainability certification. At the same time, increasing the yield. So there has to be a business case where the land use is improved to yield certification. Now, as far as the stakeholders, whether the farmers or the collection centers or the SMEs are concerned, my advice to them would be, if you don't get on the sustainability guideline, we will be left behind. Start small, start now, do your part.
Our core business focus on the enzymes as additives for feed, wastewater pumping system for aquaculture and animal farms. We ensure that DOD and COD complies with the which requirement before discharge to the waterways and environment. The sustainability goals, which is 17 of them, we complement really 13 of those. Okay. But just to end this, I would like to explain a little bit. SMEs has to think about going sustainable because this is the way to go. You have no choice. If you don't do it now, you will never have a chance of competing with the rest of the world. Malaysia must go into sustainability today to be in the forefront of businesses. So I thought that we should go for it because I have done all these things to go sustainable. If I can do it, why can't you? Start small, start now, do your part.
We have arrived in the journey of sustainable since 2011, starting from our green building and we look to our eco products as well as the sustainable culture into our business. So our eco sewage products are actually certified by local and international standards such as MyHijau, the Giga Good Environmental Choice Australia, HABP Singapore Green Building Product, and also we can calculate our product carbon footprint for our various products as well. We actually look for the ISO 14001 as well as we practice the 3R, reduce, reuse, and recycle. So this is actually help us a lot in building the sustainable culture and also to educate our employees to have a more sustainable mindset. Start small, start now, do your part.
Macam-macam kelebihan dan keuntungan pelaburan mikro ini antaranya berasal cukai, akses ke pasaran global dan juga akses untuk mendapatkan pelbagai dana dan juga grant yang disediakan oleh pihak kerajaan. Itulah budaya piawaian dan juga diterapkan dalam hal sustainable certification. Start small, start now, do your part.
Alright, what did you learn from the video?
Well, no matter what, especially for manufacturing, manufacturing sectors. They say they start now, yeah, the future. All the operator of industrialists coupled with that, then they sell their product better, accepted by consumer OC, and also trying to get a lot of incentive from trade, from whatever, right? Industry development or authorities. That's all, right? Money matter.
Okay, thanks for sharing. How about you? How about you?
Like she looks at one and then on left. So yeah, start small, start not too big, but
Great. How about both of you?
thank you for sharing.
So basically, right, you can see that the certification, it can be about eco-labeling scheme, like we have eco-friendly packaging. This one is introduced by Siri. And then also have the My Hijau mark, that one was mentioned in the video. So basically is to meet a specific environmental standard to produce the green product. And next one, I think some of you will be familiar is the MSPO, because if let's say you don't have this MSPO, Malaysian Sustainable Palm Oil, then you will face penalty, and also you will have less competitiveness as well. And just now, I know one of you mentioned about the green building. Yeah, green building basically you can refer to green building index. Is one of them that recognize the building to be green.
This green building index, pay attention to this one. This green building index is by a private company or by a government?
By the private architecture association. Basically, Malaysia have two. One of them is Green Building Index, and it's like formed by this architecture association. And then there is another one.
APM.
Yeah, and then there is another one called Green RE. That one is created by Malaysia Real Estate and Housing Developer Association.
Yes. So what are the way, the government becomes a recognition of these two certifications, right? So are they both acceptable to the government?
Okay, both of them are acceptable, but for this green building index, right, it's very common in other countries as well. But this green RE, right, is established for Malaysia itself, and normally the Malaysia building will be green certified by this green RE. But some of the building in Malaysia is certified by green building index also. So depends on which developer they prefer which kind of index.
So both can be used.
Can be used.
So this is a benchmark set in Malaysia about green building index, basically.
Yes, correct. Alright, I think this is something that you are interested, right? Like the grant and the tax incentive and the bank initiative for SMEs. Alright, so there are some of the incentives that are available. First is the green technology tax incentive. Second is the low carbon transition facility. Third one is greening value chain program. Fourth is high tech and green facility. Fifth one is about the credit guarantee. Sixth is about green technology financial scheme. And then seven is domestic investment accelerator fund ESG adoption by MIDA. Then lastly is the market development grant by my Matrix. So I will introduce each of them in detail. So the green technology, right, is normally about the solar renewable source, and then you can actually refer to here. So it's about renewable energy, energy efficiency, green building, green data center and integrated waste management. But what will be more related to the plantation, I think will be the waste management and renewable energy can be considered as well. So basically you can see that, right, they have also some incentive for the green hydrogen, integrated waste management, and also renewable energy as well. So the renewable energy, you can see that there is solar, biomass, biogas, small hydro, wind energy, and geothermal. So it's quite a wide range that you can apply.
For this one here, so it's not like a pioneering status. It's not like say, okay, I'll give you this, only 70% of your income, right?
Understand?
So if I earn 1,700,000, which is tax exempted, yeah, 100% tax exempted, up to 5 years.
Okay.
Oh, okay. It's not like pioneering status. You can have 10 years up.
No, it's like it's limited in certain period of time. Yeah, because the government want to encourage you to adopt first. Then afterwards, once your operating cost lower, then you have the ability to cover by your own. Yeah, but I mean, at least it's something that the government can provide when the time you adopt ESG for the first few years.
See, I was completely interested. It's just now your previous slides.
Okay.
Geothermal, which is still covered by Europe. The only places that at the moment the government recognize is by the geological department is Taiwan.
Yeah.
But it was disappointingly, the project didn't take off.
Yeah. Understand.
So why is that? So the government should have put more money into that project.
Yes. But just now, as what we discussed, it can be funding issue, it can be environment, it can be infrastructure. So yeah, politics evolve. Alright, so this one, right, this one is just specifically for the solar. So the solar depends on the capacity that you apply. If let's say your capacity is not that much, then the incentive period will be 5 years. But if let's say you have a large solar farm that you want to develop, then you can have the incentive period for over 10 years. So next one could be the low carbon transition facility. So basically Bank Negara, they do provide some incentive for the SME to do like the sustainability certification and also sustainable material and improve the energy efficiency of building and applicants and also on-site renewable energy generation.
So it's a low carbon transition facility, be it the fund, soft loan or whatever, given to company who wish to sort of change their energy consumption from fossil fuel to solar or whatever, so that they apply the cost of transition, is it? Let's say it costs me XX million to use clean energy or renewable energy. So that is the amount or loan that the Bank Negara is going to give to the company.
Yes. So basically, right, Bank Negara already listed some details that 1 billion allocation is from the Bank Negara, but another 1 billion is from the participating financial institution. So it depends on which bank they participate, then you can apply from both banks. And basically, it's like this low carbon transition facilities is up to 10 years, and each SME maximum they have 10 million to finance, and this financing rate is 5% per annum inclusive of the guarantee fee. And basically, this fund already available since 2 years ago.
5% and then cheap. The interest of 5%, so that should be okay.
你的借钱是最好，你的借钱是最好。
A fund,
Fixed.
fund for food is 3.75%.
Okay, so Bank Negara also have greening value chain program. So basically, SME have access to the technical training and the tools to measure and report the ESG emission. And basically, the cost of training and tools, it can be borne by the financial. And next there is the high-tech and green facility. So if let's say your SME is doing like digital tech, green tech and biotech, then you can apply this facility as well. And the financing rate is up to 3.5% per annum. That one is without guarantee, or up to 5% per annum inclusive of the guarantee fee. And the eligible sector, it can be manufacturing, services, and those who involve like the green tech, like the renewable energy, clean transportation, agri-tech, biotechnology, digital, and for IT technology. So the next one I would like to share is the portfolio guarantee scheme. Basically, this offer more financing for the SME to adopt ESG. And MGTC basically is like, it involves like 6 sectors, like energy, manufacturing, transport, building, waste, and water. And it provides 60 to 80% of government guarantee on the green component cost financed by participating financial institutions, as well as rebate of 1.5% per annum on interest or profit rate. So basically, I think for your side, probably the waste and water, as well as the energy sector will be more applicable. So you can see that basically, it can be about the solar project, or it can be about energy efficiency, and also green building construction, and the electric vehicle charging infrastructure. And then the next one I would like to introduce is MIDA. MIDA, they have the Domestic Investment Accelerator Fund, which is in terms of ESG adoption. So basically, they give the opportunity for the small and medium enterprises in the manufacturing and some of the selected service sector like the logistic sector to transition into ESG practices. And then their funding is either 50-50 or 70-30 sharing basis. And the maximum reimbursed amount is 500K per company. Yeah. And lastly is Matrix. Matrix, they also have the market development grant, and basically is to promote the Malaysia-made product or services. And basically the lifetime limit for this grant is around 300K. And it's suitable for the SMEs, Chamber of Commerce, Trade and Industry Association, professional bodies as well.
Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah, so you can look into that.
One time of plan for our 100 years celebration. Yes.
So basically you can see that government has a lot of tax incentive and grant available. And then also the financial institution, they also provide a lot of incentive as well. And they will increase the funding as well for the ESG initiative. But what I want to mention is sometimes if let's say you want to get the bank to approve your funding in order to fund your ESG initiative, you also need to look into 5C. So it can be the borrower history and background, and also the market economic situation, owner investment into the business, ability to repay the loan, and also available asset to back the loan, and also about the climate change and ESG aspect. That means they want to make sure that these loan proceeds are not used to harm the environment. And these are some of the checklists when the time you submit the application to the bank. So it can be a copy of all directors, shareholder, partner, IC or passport, and also the allocation of share, certificate of incorporation, audited and management account, debtor and creditor aging list, and also 6 months bank statement. And also you need to mention like your details of what you have done for the sustainability, so you only can apply for the loan.
This one here,
Yes.
say all these document.
Yeah.
Is there a consultant company that you have the company to apply with a payment of service fee? Are there any company in Malaysia?
Actually, for now, I only have the network from the JC3 SME focus group. So if let's say you want to understand further detail on how to apply the loan, then you have can link up. Yeah. But they are the ones who come up with this document checklist. So basically, what I want to share is SME financing is an ongoing journey. But if let's say you can fully utilize some of the initiative from the government and from the bank, then from there actually it can help you to adopt ESG further. So until here, do you have any questions for this part? Alright, so it comes to almost the second last part of the session today. So this is about the case study and also the action planning. So the case study, right, just now actually I mentioned about Sawit Kinabalu. So Sawit Kinabalu, right, when the time you check their website, they actually listed some of the environmental, social and governance strategy. And environmental, basically they mention about the environmental management policy, whereby want to have more efficient use of resources, and also to prioritize energy efficiency, reduction of greenhouse gas emission, and also the protection of biodiversity. And then for the land policy is that they want to ensure that this palm oil plantation not conflict with other people's right. And then also avoid planting the palm oil on fragile land, and also to protect the high value ecological areas, and also to promote sustainable land use and management practice. And then for the social side, basically, Sawit Kinabalu emphasized about equal opportunity employment and freedom of association policy, and then also about the human rights policy. That means want to have fair treatment of the workers and safeguard the rights of women and children, for instance. And lastly, is about the governance policy. It's about the whistleblower policy and the transparency policy. So, whistleblower policy actually is like I mentioned in the earlier slides. So basically, just something that the company that can refer. And then transparency basically is like to ensure that the annual report, management policy, and then organization structure information is being reviewed in the company website. Case study 2 is about that one. So that one, right, they have the no deforestation, no peat policy, and environmental policy. So the first no deforestation, no peak policy, that means that they emphasize about high conservation value area and high carbon stock forest and also zero burning policy. And environment is basically about to comply and related regulation and linked to the environmental impact, and then also emphasize about waste management, energy efficiency, and greenhouse gas reduction initiative. For the social side, that one emphasize about occupational safety and health policy, and also no exploitation policy, that means no forced labor, no child labor. And lastly is about whistleblower policy as well. And this whistleblower policy, they also emphasize about the illegal activities, corruption, and violation of company policy. And last but not least, besides the local case study, I also want to show you about the national case study. So the national case study that you can refer to basically is about Saint-Darby plantation. So Saint-Darby, right, they have some policy. First is the non-deforestation and peatland plantation. They emphasize about high conservation value and high carbon stock forests, and also greenhouse gas reduction. That means they will use the RSP or pump GHG calculator to measure and reduce greenhouse gas emission, and also mention about zero burning policy. Biodiversity and conservation is about to protect the wildlife and maintain ecological balance. And then lastly is about the waste and the water management. That means to emphasize about reduce, reuse, and recycle approach. So until here, do you have like better understanding like how you can list your sustainability policy in your company? Okay. Okay. So for the social side, right, Saint-Darby actually done in terms of fair labor practices and also community engagement and support. That means they do some educational initiative, healthcare support, and economic empowerment project for local communities. Third one is the occupational safety and health. That means they will do regular risk assessment in order to ensure the worker work in safety condition. And then governments, that means they have the transparency and reporting. That means they have sustainability report. They emphasize about like how they do their sustainable development goals and how they comply with certain standards like the global reporting initiative. And they also emphasize about whistleblower protection and also about the governance structure. The governance structure, as what you learned earlier, that the sustainability governance, you have the pyramid structure and you can clearly indicate the responsibility. So basically, right, this is just to show you how Saint-Darby do the maturity assessment. So they put some of the environmental, like the green one, such as climate change and energy management, fire and haze in the diagram. And then they also put the human rights and fair labor practices, health and safety into the diagram too. And then like the product quality and safety, which is number 6, they also put in the diagram as well.
This is applied to their company.
Yes,
irrespective of area of practice, right?
Yes, correct.
It's applied to Malaysia, Indonesia, Papua New Guinea, or even Africa. Africa.
Yeah, correct. So basically, this one just to show you that under the sustainability report, normally they will specify like what kind of sustainability reporting standard they use, and then what are the specific they put under this report. So, for example, if let's say they use the global reporting initiative, right? Then they will specify like they will put some of the activities or governance structure and then like policy commitment, etc. But for now, just need to follow the SDG. That is good enough. Yeah. So you can see that basically, SNW, they listed what are the things they already done for climate change, biodiversity, fire and haze, and also what they already done for health and safety, human rights, community rights, diversity and inclusion, and supply chain. So this is just some of the reference, but actually you no need to put that detail like what are the specific targets and what are the specific progress that you already done. But what you need to do is just to list some of your sustainability policy. So these are just further example like how they show in terms of their product quality and safety, customer privacy, corporate governance, and also the operation efficiency. And this is just to show you the example of their sustainability governance structure. So they have the main board, good managing director, chief sustainability officer, and sustainability committee. And they will specify like what kind of role they play in each specific position. Okay, now I check the time. Okay, this one, right, I think we can skip this part because I understand all of you're not really doing sustainability reporting, and also you just started your basic sustainability journey. So what you can do is, you can just download this SEDG framework. Then from there you can take the box like what you already done for your company. So I just show you some example. So basically it's like you can see when the time you download this PDF, right? What kind of environmental indicator that you already done, for example, emission, whether you already reached the basic or whether you haven't reached the basic yet. So this is just to show you like what are the indicators that SEDG already listed. So it can be scope 1, 2, 3 emission. It can be about energy. It can be about water. It can be about waste. It can be about materials. And then for the social side, it can be about human rights and labor practice, which we go through in the earlier slide. And then also about the employee management, diversity, equity, and inclusion. And then also about occupational health and safety, community engagement. And for the governance side, basically cover the governance structure, policy commitment, so like the code of conduct, anti-corruption, etc. is covered there. And then also like the risk management and reporting, anti-corruption, customer privacy. And then after you've done this SEDG, you can just put some of the information like your company name, date of disclosure, disclosure period, and your location, what kind of entities included, and what is the location. Then you can produce simple sustainability report already. So this one just to show you some of the referencing, like what kind of the environmental indicator that you can include in your business. So like the emission management, energy management, water and waste, and then labor practice, safety and health, employee benefit, corporate social responsibility, and also about the culture and commitment, under the governance pillar, integrity and anti-corruption, risk governance and internal control, and also the board of director, management, business continuity. That one also can be part of it, and the data protection. Yeah. So basically, these are the information that I will share to you. So don't worry. So in the end, right, I just want to ask, what do you think is the push factor for Malaysia SME to pursue sustainability? Maybe you can give your opinion.
Force feeding.
Force?
Force feeding.
Oh, okay. Regulation.
Supposed to be a tax initiative, incentive, not tax.
Tax incentive, is that? Oh,
That's why you push based on grants, but there's nothing about tax.
oh, the tax, that means you want to understand in more detail, right?
Yeah, tax exemption.
That one, the specific information I also can pass to you after the session. Yeah.
Just for us, we can't really produce a full set of all this ESG.
But I'm more interested in terms of like, when you do ESG initiative, then you can apply certain tax incentive, right? That one I can follow up after the training.
Okay.
Yes. Any thoughts? How about you? Yeah, what are the push factors for Malaysia SME to pursue sustainability?
I think maybe it's still the government. And they twist the law or something, then they have no choice than they have to.
Oh, okay. But actually,
Exactly. It's a very realistic it's a theory apply. Yeah, exactly. So
Unless it's forced or we give them some sweets.
Ah.
it's a carrot and stick, dangling there. That's it. Yeah.
Otherwise, it's a cost to really do all this.
oh, you mean it's
For
like,
a corporate
okay,
to consider ESG, it's
oh,
a cost to really
really doing that, is it? Understand.
inform the team to follow up on the regulation.
Understand. But actually, as a starting point, I think you just need to do this sustainability policy and review in your company website, then it's good enough.
Correct.
Yeah, just the first step. Then the next step actually is like, for today, this trending is just like an awareness. It's like at least you understand what is ESG strategy, what is ESG reporting, and what are the tax incentives. And then if, let's say after this training, you have interest to apply some tax incentive on the grant, then that can be the next step for the implementation already.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that the biggest achievement in terms of plantation industry is MPOB actually has successfully have done for all initially starting from they want to implement RSPO, which is a European by the large company, right?
Yes.
Which is very difficult to comply, right? Then they change the policy, but Indonesia starting to implement Indonesia's ISPO. So Malaysia, MSPO, and the private industry ministry panic. So they lower the expectation. Why don't we have a Malaysia standard of MSPO? So and then basically it's like carrot and stick. Okay, you don't bring it, you cannot sell your oil fruits already,
Yes.
right? And they force the power we say you accept those who have the certificate. No choice, isn't it? Everybody have to do it, right? MSPO. So this is a success. Even though it's not perfect, yeah, because how can you afford a small 100 acres, 40 hectare to every year certification will cost you 40,000, 20 to 40,000 consultancy to certify your area again. So that's why, right? So initially it's then they have a different way to do it, then how we group together and then get it done. So may not be perfect. The standard is lower compared to RSPO, but it's still getting one of the biggest achievement about this sustainability formulation.
True. Thank you for sharing. So basically what I want to share is that it's not only about the regulation, but it's about consumer awareness, and also about the investor. They also want to invest in the sustainable companies, so that's why more and more people talk about sustainability. So just want to share what are the risks if SME not complying with ESG. So basically it can be two sides. First is the transition risk. It can be like policy, legal, technology, market and reputation risk. Second, it can be the acute or the chronic risk. So the transition risk, you can see that for policy and legal risk is about the reporting requirement. Technology is about the cost to transition, and then market risk is about the changing consumer behavior. And then physical risk is about some of the extreme weather event like forest fire, landslide or flood. Actually, some of us already feel it already because of the climate change. And also the chronic risks like the coastal erosion or risk to work safety. So this one is like just to briefly mention about the potential risks. And then just to share the final part, like how ESG strategy can drive the sustainable business growth. So first one is about long-term profitability, attract impact investor, improve risk management, strengthen brand reputation, drive innovation and market opportunities, and also foster employee engagement and retention. Alright, so basically almost coming to the end of the session. So can you tell me what do you learn today? Learn a lot, but learn in terms of what?
So this is the new trend in futures, so companies should like follow these actions and see how to make it like this ESG.
Oh, okay. How about you?
They've been hearing this issue about right now we know how they assess the ESG things like this carbon calculator, things like that to really measure the carbon and stuff. And also probably the action plan on how should we start from the policies and stuff.
Very good. How about you?
I found that ESG has much more than lots of there's an easier one or advanced one. So yeah, and you can start very
Nice. How about you?
Better understanding of the ESG and how to incorporate into the scheme.
Very good. How about you?
Okay. First getting to know you. No. Number two is basically I have a fair bit of knowledge about ESG. Yeah.
Okay.
First touching on that when I was have this project with somebody. Yeah. So we were doing some sort of property consultancy with her. And the first one I come across is about the really catch me is HVC. High value conservation area. They were very conscious of that, and also they have abandoned hilly area more than 50 degrees that completely abandoned for oil palm plantation, and they wanted to leave it as it is. We go to jungle. This is their first environmental issue. Then the secondly, I touch is some companies they will be costly and allowed to sell they were practicing labor, right? Labor issue, child labor, right? They've been banned by the US for selling Farada and Sanda. Allowed to sell them this forced labor exactly. So they will be banned and by the US and not allowed to sell the product, and it could be influenced by other European countries. Yeah. So we come to that is basically ESG is a very good platform. Yeah. So I would say is long road ahead for SME.
Yes, yes.
So we are only touching all these ESG, we are touching say scope 1 and 2, yeah, okay, follow, yeah. Yeah, that's it. And government have to have strong view
Yes.
to be able to push through this policy.
Yes.
Right? For SME is if they don't want to buy our product, we have to force to do it. Right? Let's say the guy here selling fertilizer. Right? He's right import from Germany. If the German say you want to sell you want to buy my glyceride, what do we have to ESG? Right? Yes, exactly. So actually, for us like a small SME, yeah, a lot of us here, is the down game we think about what's my cost to set up. I need to set up a special department. I employ 3 or 5 employees to to do this. Yeah, everybody full time on that. Yeah, you got somebody call query by whatever the government department. You need somebody to help you to do it. Yeah, the plantation, big plantation, they set up their own. Yeah, I visited some Nabi Papua New Guinea plantation. They're basically there. It was owned by a British. They already have their own called MSPO, RSPO department. It's sort of employed more than 10 persons, basically some Malaysian as well. So they basically look after this. Yeah, it's a cost. If the government wants to push through this, first is they must give some sort of subsidy or tax incentive. Be very easy. If you have done this, I'll give you a tax for 5 years, 10 years incentive. So it's a carrot and stick. A small SME because of cost structure input to their financial inclusion. They have to be sort of government to push you and then you have to do it, and it's sort of like a combination. It's a cocktail of things that make it successful in this.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
Very good.
I want louder please.
Alright, so basically the learning outcome from today is like at least you understand the importance of sustainability in professional and personal life, and also you can further develop and apply specific ESG strategy whereby I listed down here you can start doing some already. And lastly is to choose the grant and tax incentive to apply. So further details of the grant and tax incentive I can share the guideline, and if you have further question we can further communicate. So in the end, can you scan the QR code to do the HRDC evaluation and then also Google review? So Google review is for my training provider AIHQ, and then I give you 3 to 5 minutes to do that. Is that okay?
What? For now?
Yeah, now because this okay. First one is for HRDC to evaluate my training today, and then Google review is just to review my training provider, or you can review myself like how I perform as a trainer for today.
Don't give we give you the good review.
Thank you. 考虑。
一定要 app 和保留它。
不需要也可以的。啊，